I'm pretty surprised how often people that are embarking on the venture capital process or angel capital process that are doing their first rounds don't really know a whole lot about shares, and it's not surprising. A lot of people, maybe don't have the financial wherewithal to have been buying stock in the stock market and trading things, and they may just be a little bit uninitiated. So no worries, we're here to help. A share of stock in a corporation is generally the right to receive distributions from profits and things like that, also called dividends, and it represents the right to vote in a corporation. So that's kind of the default principle around stock in a company. And obviously, there can be many shareholders. The shareholders would all receive, if there is only one type of stock, the right to receive any distributions or dividends if the company gets bought by a bigger one or sells all of its assets, or if it's just operating and it gets a net profit from things. Likewise, each holder of shares has the right to vote that stock, generally speaking, as a default rule. Shares are usually represented by what are called stock certificates. And stock certificates used to be like a literal paper stock certificate with a border and lots of legal language around it, and that you would hand to people and they would keep in a safe place like a safe, or the company might keep it at its offices or with what's called a transfer agent. Now, in the private company startup world these days, most companies are issuing either uncertificated shares, so there's no actual share certificate that goes to someone who has an ownership stake in your company, or they are held electronically in one of these cap table management systems, and somebody might get a notice and there's sort of an electronic representation of their shares in the company. There's all kinds of variations there. But in a nutshell, the shares in a corporation represent the right to vote, and they represent the right to receive dividends, and the number of votes and the proportional right to receive dividends generally relates to the number of shares that you hold in that corporation. So that's really what stock is in a nutshell.